if you make this recipe just right, it yields an absolutely beautiful dish. Hello, welcome back to Texas Cooking Today. Hey, we're going to be cooking up some ham today. Delicious ham. You know, it's one of my favorites come holiday time. I absolutely love these little guys. The flavor is just so good. You know, you take a piece of meat, you cure it the right way, and then prepare it the right way afterwards. Oh, the flavor is just incredible. And this one is going to yield an absolute delicious holiday treat. So this is a great way to do this for your holidays, and it's a wonderful, tasty, delicious treat. We're going to be doing a glazed and studded ham. I'm going to show you how to do that. It's not that hard. Today, it's going to be fun. But I would like to ask, please, take a look at my store. That's where I sell my merchandise. That's where I have shirts for Texas Cooking Today. Also, the hat, soon, apron comes out. It's embroidered apron. In addition, there's going to be some other merchandise there. Really cool stuff, like probably some hoodies and a jacket. Please take a look at that. I've got a lot of recipes there as well. And very soon, probably this recipe will be hitting. Folks, this is not a difficult thing to do. Cooking a ham it's just a process like anything else, but it's the method of preparation that can sometimes give it a real special flavor. And today we're going to impart a flavor into this ham that is incredible. When you stud a ham, it takes on this rich flavor from the cloves. In addition to the glaze that we're going to put on it, it mixes together. That fat works with it as it renders through the meat, and it prepares, well, when it's prepared the right way, it provides this most incredible flavor. And it's something I think you're really going to enjoy once you give it a good try. Okay, so let's get started on how to prepare this. It isn't tough. It's just a matter of cutting it the right way, studying it the right way, and then getting it in the oven. Come on over, let's get started. So my ingredients today, well folks, look at this. I have this big beautiful ham going on over here, and I want to do something to this ham. It's called studding it. It's a really cool thing. We use this right here. These are cloves, okay? You've heard of cloves. They're one of those wonderful spices that is in what a lot of people like to call pumpkin spice these days. This is one of the intense, more aromatic spices that's in there, all right? And it, by itself, just as whole clove like this, does a wonderful job imparting its flavor into meats, and with meat it does wonderful things. All right, so it's a good flavor. I have for the glaze over here some brown sugar. We also have honey. I have a little bit of lime juice to cause it to pop. That acid really helps that glaze to glow a little bit. And then some salt. Also, in addition, if you want more of a fruity glaze, all you have to do is use some canned fruit. Pick your favorite fruit. It can be peaches, apricots, it could be cherries, it could be any number of things. You can use, let's say, pineapple. That's very commonly used with ham. You can puree that in your blender and put it right into the glaze that we're going to make and cook it up right with it. So if you choose some fruit, feel free to go ahead and do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and glove up. This isn't absolutely necessary, but I like to do this because it just speeds up my cleanup later on, all right? I don't have to wash my hands after this. I pull the gloves off, move right on to the next task. I want this end of my ham face down so I can stud this thing. And so you'll know what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be cutting lines into this, crisscross. So I'm going to take my knife, and I can do it right now on this side. I'm going to cut in just like so. You see that? I'm cutting, about 3/8 of an inch deep. It's not terribly deep, but it is deep enough that when this is cooked, that fat is going to open up. The squares are going to look really cool, and you're going to be able to see the cloves after it's done that way. So, very simple thing, as you see here. And I'm separating my lines here, here, and here. That's about an inch apart on each one of those, all right? And I will continue that all the way around. So the entire ham gets this exact same treatment. And then I come across and we crisscross it, like I said before. So that's when I come across this way, just like that. Isn't that neat? Now the whole idea here is where each of these lines intersects, that's where I used to put a clove. If you wish to have a more clovey flavor in your ham, then you want to put those cloves where the lines intersect. But if you want the cloves to look more of a studded appearance on the outside of it and not such an intense release into the meat, then we put it in the center of the squares. And it won't come out as easy, especially when we're doing our glazing. Okay? Cloves. Now, sometimes when you try to insert a clove, it may not want to go into the ham, okay? That one went in one of the tougher spots. In the event that you're having difficulty, I want you to take a real pointed knife and make a small insert, just about 1/4 of an inch deep. And right in the middle of that insert, that's where you're going to poke that clove. And you'll find it goes in a lot easier like that. So if you're having difficulty, give that a try. So remember, in the center of each one of your squares, just push a clove in there. They do not have to be perfect. Well, I'm going to be covering this with foil now. I need to also get some water in there. And please pardon the sound of the foil. It's kind of loud. I'll turn down the volume down. All right, now if you have aromatics or anything like that that you want to put in here, this is the time to do it. Now, what do I mean by aromatics? Okay, that would be, let's say, chunks of orange, lemon, lime, that kind of thing down in here that release their aromas. Some bay leaf wouldn't hurt down in this juice. The cloves that are already in there are going to be doing that also. So, aromatics, okay? Well, we can't say that's just overly pretty, but when has foil ever been overly pretty? Right? Okay, so anyway, that's my oven telling me it's hot. I can go ahead and get this in the oven. Now, this is going to be some time cooking it. It's going to be about 20 minutes per pound, so figure that on yours. And I'm using a cooked ham, okay? If your ham is uncooked, it's going to be a little longer on the cook because you're going to have to get that center temperature up to 165 at least, 165, 170. But if it is a fully cooked ham, you only have to get it up to about 130 to 150. All right, real simple and delicious. Here it goes to the oven. Let's get this. Oh, here we go. Right up in that oven. Now, just give it time. Be patient. I've got about 3 hours to spend. Okay, glaze is a simple thing, ladies and gentlemen. I want to dissolve my sugars. Let me get them down in there. Get some water on that. Okay, and it doesn't take a whole lot. Okay, you know, 1/2 cup of water, boom, your sugar's dissolved, all right? It's just that simple. I'm gonna go ahead and get my acid in. I'm gonna go ahead and put in about 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And I'm gonna squeeze in roughly 1/2 teaspoon, or excuse me, 1/2 cup of honey. And so it's not like you have to be super accurate, but get at least 1/2 cup, okay? Because you want a good honey flavor that goes with that brown sugar. The two work wonderful as a harmony of flavors. So in a little while, we're going to be heating this up. I don't have to start it now, but I like to go ahead and get everything ready so it can be used whenever. Okay, I want to go ahead and cook the water out of it. So when this comes up and starts cooking, you're going to see it have a very vigorous cooking action. And when that kind of slows down and it gets a little more just kind of even and bubbly, that's when you've cooked your sugar off. It'll be an obvious difference. Excuse me, when you've cooked your water out of the sugar, it will be an obvious difference at that point. My goodness, I'm having a hard time talking today. Okay, I have a flame under my pot here. I'm just going to simply bring this to a boil. I'm going to let it cook for about 30 minutes. And it doesn't take a long time, okay? We're making a glaze that we're going to gently baste the ham with. It will run down over the ham nice and smooth, and then it will be put in the oven to thicken up and harden. And that's what we do there, is we want the sugary coating to kind of form a skin on the outside of the ham. Okay, my thermometer there is still showing about 212 degrees. It's when it starts coming up above that, that's when I know that that water's cooked off. And here's the thing, folks, water won't get hotter than 212 degrees without turning into steam, plain and simple. And so it's sort of one of the ways that we judge where a candy or where a glaze like this is in its cooking. The rest of the magic on this sugar happens in the oven. Alrighty, let's take a look. Oh yes. First thing that I can mention, the aroma is robust. Now, what I'm going to start doing is glazing. And I have some spots on the ham that they've kind of opened up a little bit. Let me turn this around. Now it is time. So we have this beautiful syrup. I'm just going to gently drizzle it over the top. Let it make its way down into the little valleys and cracks. It'll fill into those. Don't worry, and it doesn't have to be perfect. You do not have to have absolute, complete, and total coverage of this sugar for this ham to be well glazed. And we get to do this more than once if we don't go too heavy on the sugar, okay? It's delicious, gorgeous. And I tasted this, though. The honey, it just comes through on it so beautifully. I really like the flavor of it, and that the acid we put in it just sets it off beautifully. It's not that strong. It's not like, oh, look, it's all lime flavored. No, you don't taste the lime at all, but you certainly detect the fact that there is a hint of acid there. Okay, it's very noticeable. This goes back in the oven, and we get on with this. Oh yes, here we go. Okay, as I've said, I've increased the temperature, 450. We don't need to leave it in there long, so you want to check this every 10 to 15 minutes, okay? Okay, my timer's about to go off. This has been in here for just a little bit over, just a little bit over 12 minutes. Or excuse me, over 10 minutes, I'm sorry. There we go. Take my sugar here. I want to hit it right along this side. Didn't get as much there last time. So this time I'm going to make sure it is on there nice and pretty. Oh yeah. I'm going to use what I have left over the top, just working it down as much as I can all the way around. And just as quick as that, it goes right back in the oven. It's already up to 450. Oh yeah, it's good and hot. There it is. The quantity of everything that I had today, first let's start with this ham. This is a big old honking ham, as you noticed already. This is a butt portion. It is about 10.5 pounds, so there's a lot of meat going on. All right, now to glaze this, the glaze that I made started with a little bit of water, and it doesn't have to be a lot, just enough to dissolve that sugar. Usually about 1/2 cup is more than enough. The sugar, 1.5 cups of that. That's that dark brown sugar. On the honey, you want about 1/2 cup of the honey. Used about 1/4 cup of lime juice. You can also use lemon juice, just something good and acidic works well in this. Also, the salt back there to set it off, and you need about 1/2 teaspoon of that. As far as these cloves, you're going to need a good amount of cloves, as you see here, because we're going to be, as you've seen, cutting a lot of crisscrosses all over this, and it takes a lot of that. So you're going to be getting around 3/4 of an ounce to 1 ounce of clove, and that's a lot of clove, trust me. So that'll be more than enough, and you'll be able to do a few other little tricks like studding oranges and other things for the holidays. All right, let's take a look. Oh yes, absolutely stunning. Gotta be careful. This, ladies and gentlemen, this is just absolutely beautiful. There, right there, is your perfect holiday ham. I'm going to give it a little time to rest. It needs, easily 20 minutes of resting time before that is going to be ready to serve. All right. Now I want to say this. If you don't pull those cloves out of the outside, at least caution your guests about don't eat them. Clove. A hint of sugar, a little bite of acid. That's good. I'm here to tell you right now. Juicy too. And this is the outside of the roast. I just carved it right off the side here. So if anything was going to be dry, it should be that. It's not. It's delicious. Thanks very much for watching this. You're going to love this recipe when you try it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please drop me a comment down below. Look in the comments, or excuse me, the description box. You're going to see my links there. And also click like if you enjoyed this. Thank you very much. You folks have a good day. Please come back and watch more of Texas Cooking Today, because there's a lot more great recipes. You have a good day, and I'll see you next time. Oh yeah.